Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. Okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have a Prince of Discs. That's going to start us out today. We're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I lay these cards out, I also want to say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments to this video, okay? Now, we're going to finish with our Dove and Serpent spread, the Path of the Serpent here. It looks pretty good. We're going to do our mystery card. You know what, today let's do the Ancient Italian Tarot deck for our mystery card, all right? I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I really do like the Ancient Italian, and we're going to leave that right over there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, and hopefully it will tie everything together and, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of this reading. Okay. So looking around here, we see some good earth energy. We see a little water, air, and fire. We see major. We see some earth. We see some water and some air. So only the one major arcana card here. I think this universe or world card is really going to be a central energy this week, okay? But we're going to start out with this court card here. This is the Prince of Discs. I think this is representing your energy kind of coming into this week, coming into this reading and kind of moving into the next 7 days. We also see another prince in the recent past, a Prince of Wands, and I guess we can do the two of these together because I think these both represent you, okay? I think in the very recent past, we're going to switch over to this Prince of Wands now. I think in the recent past you had a very active energy cycle, okay? I think you've accomplished a lot recently. I think that you have been very committed to the creative work that you're doing. Now, creative work, what does that mean? That could be anything from your career, your employment, what you're doing for money. That could be the business that you run. Could be the organization that you're involved with, church, temple, lodge, charitable organization, community organization maybe. It could be just work within your group of friends, any kind of extracurricular or vocational activity that you do. It could be work in your relationship, in a romantic relationship. Though, even though we have some water energy here, I don't know that this is work necessarily done, in or on a relationship. Feels to me like this is something to do with your creativity, something that you've been building, right? In the last few readings for you, Sagittarius, there's been a lot of focus on harnessing your fire energy, right? Kind of maybe narrowing down the scope of what you're trying to accomplish, okay? Because I feel like you're the type of person that has so many interests. You have so many things that you're good at, right? That it's been maybe a little bit hard in the recent, few years perhaps, to narrow it down to just one thing for you to really excel at, okay? But this Prince of Wands, I think, has formulated a clear plan and has been working hard to execute that plan, to make that plan a reality, to really give it physical form, right? To manifest that plan, that goal. And I think this is the energy that you have been harnessing as of late. Let's say the last reading, maybe the week before that. You've really come into this Prince of Wands attitude where you have this really, like I said, a really clear-cut plan, a really fine blueprint, and you've been executing it. And you've been working hard. This fiery energy is being informed by this planning that you have, this blueprint, this rational discourse, this this structure and organization. Okay, so you're giving expression to all of this creative fire that you have. You really found your direction. Okay, and that's what I'm feeling with the Prince of Wands. Now, the Prince of Discs, Pentacles, present day, right now, currently, you've made a lot of progress with this fiery energy, this creativity, this building, whatever you're working on, whatever your projects are, right? Whatever you're trying to accomplish, you've made a lot of progress here, okay? You've basically had your nose to the grindstone, I think, since the last reading. You know, I think 24/7 you've been at this. Okay, so we're going from the fire, both princes, right? They're both informed by this blueprint that you have, by this understanding, this plan, this organization. Okay, but we start with fire. That's the creative impulse. That's the beginning of the work. That is just the real enthusiasm and the real fiery intensity of beginning this project. But now we've kind of condensed that. The magma has cooled a little bit, and we have this earth energy now, still being informed by the air, right? Still has the rational thought behind it, the structure, the plan, the organization. But now it's starting to coalesce. Now it's starting to solidify and crystallize in your life. So that's telling me you've reached a level of achievement this week, okay? It could be right now you're feeling this. Could be in the next few days you're really going to start to notice that you've come a long way. From molten lava to now solidified, solid rock, you know? And I think this is indicating a real milestone, perhaps even a resting place, okay? And I'll tell you why I feel that there's a resting place here for you. The first thing that's giving me that indication is this pesky old Five of Swords. This card comes up sometimes even when things are going wonderfully, beautifully well in our lives. Sometimes we get this card. Why is that? We sometimes doubt ourselves. Here we are doing perfectly fine work. You're taking your fire, you're manifesting it on earth, right? But you still feel like, I could do better, or that's not quite good enough, doesn't quite look the way I imagined it, right? Maybe I just need to tweak things. Maybe I need to revise my blueprints, go back to the drawing board, make some alterations here and there. It's just a lot of analysis, a lot of self-doubt, and kind of second-guessing things. Okay? And this is a very natural thing, and I think for you, this is your drive to perfection, right? And the way that you achieve perfection now, I really think that you're pretty damn close to perfection right now with whatever this work is. Because of the way these cards are configured, it really feels very close to the mark here. But the way you achieve perfection is by questioning things, by being discerning, by being a little bit skeptical, okay? And taking a look at your work and saying, well, that could be better over there. Maybe I could have done that a little bit differently. Little things can be tweaked, and I think that's how the next cycle is even more perfect than this one, right? Because you're looking at the little, almost imperceptible mistakes that you've made, which I tell you, 99% of people aren't going to even notice, but you notice. Because it's your work, and you have that keen sense of perception. So that next time, the next phase of this, the next, round of creation that you're involved with, these little mistakes are going to be corrected, right? The next revision is going to eliminate these little bugs, little imperfections, okay? But this week, the next 7 days, I feel like you're getting a little bit of a break. It's okay for you to enjoy what you've accomplished. Now, at the top of the path of the dove, we see this perfection. This is the 6 of Pentacles. This is the perfect expression of heaven and earth combined into one unit, into one created entity. Okay? This is as perfect as you can get on the material plane. When something's taken from the realm of pure spirit, pure thought, pure creative impulse, and manifested on this plane, this is as perfect as you can get. Now, because you're Sagittarius and you have that very keen sense of perception, and you have that pointy tool that you can pinpoint the little imperfections, you notice those. You notice the little blemishes that, again, 99.9% of people aren't going to see it because you've gotten as close to perfection as you can. Okay? Now, there is such a thing as taking too many of these little tiny tools and poking around a little bit too much, trying to fix all the little blemishes. You end up making it look a lot worse. Okay? So part of this card is knowing when to hit the brakes on this analysis, on this minute perception, this really minute analysis of these, perceived blemishes and imperfections. Now, because it is a manifested thing, it is something that you're building or creating on this plane, it's impossible to achieve 100% perfection. So 99.999 should be okay, right? And I think that's what we have with the 6 here. And this is, at the same time, because it's at the top of the path of the dove here, this is your ideal. You want it to be 100% perfect without blemish, right? 0 imperfections. We have to have a tolerable limit, though, okay? Now, this is your ideal. This is what you're shooting for. It's okay if we have a slight margin of error, let's say 1/100%, okay? And, I chuckle because it sounds kind of silly, but that's how you ensure the quality of your work. Now, I think you're someone that really focuses on quality rather than just how fast you can pump these out. You want it all to be as flawless as possible. Okay? And that's why you utilize this keen perception, this 5 of Swords, to analyze. You don't want to just look at all the things that you did right. You want to find those things that you did wrong that no one else is going to see, or if they do, they're not going to tell you. I think they're just not going to see it. But you want to find those. It's through those just, again, nearly imperceptible blemishes or mistakes that you work towards your ideal. Okay? And whatever you're doing, I wouldn't be surprised if you are doing some kind of engineering or coding, maybe even, or even something like sculpting, something artistic that, we think it's the perfection that makes something beautiful, but really it is those little tiny, almost imperceptible blemishes that make a piece of art so unique, right? If you were a 3D printer, maybe it would all look exactly the same, and that would be fine. But even in those creations, because we're on the manifested plane, the earth plane of reality, there's going to be imperfections, okay? Now, I don't want to dwell too long on that aspect of the reading, because I think what we're going into the next 7 days is really you taking your mind off of all of this, right? Because down beneath everything, we've got this 8 of Cups. And I feel like all of this business that you're involved in, again, I don't really know what it is that you're doing. If you are some kind of a coder or engineer, if you are a visual artist or a graphic designer, a sculptor, a painter, a musician, a writer, if you're just putting together an organization, if you're administering some sort of business or community thing or a charity, there's all sorts of things that this could be. Okay. And if you feel so inclined, leave me a comment, let me know generally what you're doing. But I feel like you're starting to get a little bit weary. Okay, and I think that might be an understatement. I think through this cycle of, creating and then looking for the imperfections so that you can do another round or another cycle of the work to try to correct those. I think it's been a lot of that. And I feel like you're starting to get a little worn out emotionally. You know, it's almost as if your passion, your heart really isn't as into it as it was. Okay, not that you've lost heart, but that you're starting to get a little, like I said, a little weary. Okay. And I see that's kind of creeping up because this is beneath everything. It's underneath the surface. So I think if you paused for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself if you want to wake up tomorrow and do this again. Okay? Now, if there's any hesitation there, that's telling me that a little bit of this water is draining out. Okay? And I feel like there was some hesitation there. We've got this World or Universe card. This is the real centerpiece of the reading. Okay? Now, this is, first of all, this is that little hesitation, right? Do you want to go do this again tomorrow? We hesitated. Okay? I think this card's also telling you that you need to get away. You need to get away from your workshop. Get away from your office. Get away from wherever it is that you do this work, this analysis, this creation, this building. Travel, if you can. Take a day trip somewhere, you know. I feel like the way to really refresh things, and that's exactly what we see on the path of the serpent, the way to get back into this, the way to really recharge and kind of have a fresh outlook, a fresh feeling about this work, is you got to get away. Okay? So I think the opportunity is coming within the next 7 days for you to take a little break. Okay? Even if this is just you by yourself going somewhere for the day, physically getting away from your workshop, from your office, from where this work and this creation takes place. Okay? I think the opportunity is coming for you to do that now. Because we see this Two of Cups over here, now we're switching over to the path of the serpent now. And I'm skipping ahead a little bit because I wonder if there's friends or family, or maybe a spouse, a loved one, a domestic partner or something in your life that's noticing this weariness. Okay? And they are going to basically just snatch you up and take you somewhere for a day or two, maybe for the weekend. Because I feel like there are people in your environment, maybe one person, maybe several people, that love you, that are very close with you. This card's in the position of your environment. Okay? So you have a very supportive environment. There's a lot of love around you now. I don't know if it's from one person or from several. But I feel like they're going to kind of whisk you away for a few days. Right? And I think you really need to get your mind off of this. Right? Sometimes the way to get a fresh perspective on things, or to renew our interest and our love for something and our commitment, not that you've lost interest, not that you've lost commitment, but we need that refreshing water, right? We need to take a shower at the end of the day to wash all of this off of us. And then maybe we need to take a shower in the morning too, to wake ourselves up and get ready to approach this work again. Fresh, right? And I think there are people around you that are seeing this, and they are very much conducive to this. So either they're taking you somewhere, or they're giving you the opportunity, they're giving you the keys to the minivan and saying, go ahead, take a trip, get some time to yourself, get some time away from all of this work, and refresh yourself. Okay? So what we see to begin the path of the serpent here is this Ace of Discs. And I feel like this is what we really are looking for. We're looking for kind of a fresh start with things, right? And it doesn't mean we're scrapping all of this and starting something new, but we want to come back to this work with a fresh set of eyes, a fresh mind, a fresh heart, a fresh set of hands, you know. Because we love this work. This is what we've been building toward and working on and trying to get a grasp of, I think, for months now. I think if we went back and looked at all the Sagittarius readings, a lot of fire energy, a lot of creativity, a lot of activity that was kind of just spreading out in many different directions. And what we've been trying to do is get a handle on it. There's a reason why this Prince of Wands is the only fire, let me just make sure, yeah, the only fire energy in the reading, because this is what the last however many readings has been all about. Harnessing, organizing this fire energy. And now we've done that. And you've been enjoying that for a while now. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe it's been a month or two. You've been working with this fire energy, manifesting it, right? Consolidating it, crystallizing it, giving it material form. Whatever this is, I don't know the work that you do. But I feel like we need a kind of, we need a refresh, right? We have to kind of reboot the system just to wipe the memory clean, wipe the cache, and just start with a kind of a fresh install, maybe even, you know? And I think this is the way that you're really going to see progress with this work that you're doing, okay? And that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to continue on our path toward perfect expression of whatever this creative will is that you have. Okay? Whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever you're trying to build, as concrete or as abstract as this thing is that you're building. We're trying to get to the Ace of Discs with this now, okay? We're trying to start fresh. And again, with that Two of Cups in the environment, there's the opportunity now for you to do this, to get this refreshing escape, a little mini vacation, you know, just you and your lover, your partner, your best friend, you and your dog, you and, you know, yourself even. Doesn't matter. The point is to do it as stress-free as possible, you know? If the whole time you're sitting there worrying about your work and, well, who's taking care of the work while you're gone, or the list of things that you have to do when you get back, leave your phone at home. Leave that list at home. Because that's this Nine of Swords that we see next. This is you, even if you take a little vacation, you get away, your mind is going to want to dwell here on the path of the dove with all of this stuff that we've got going on. This is your list of bugs that you need to try to work out, or adjustments, little tweaks, little things that you need to repair, or things that you need to change, whatever it may be. This is bringing all of that stress with you. And this is supposed to be a nice refresh, a nice reset. If you look at the path of the Serpent here, we're going at this with a really kind of a fresh outlook. We're trying to get back to, you know, like that original feeling when we first got to work on this. And we're doing that by way of this water energy. But the only thing coming in between this water refresh, this 2, 3 of Cups, right? Nice progression of the water energy, is this damn Nine of Swords. And that thing gets in the way every time. You know? Every time you think you're going to get a relaxing weekend, you end up, if you're not working, you're worrying about working. You know? So this is as much a mental break, a mental refresh, as it is a physical, emotional refresh. See, we started with this 8 of Cups. And this card just looks like it needs a couple of hot showers, right? And that's kind of where we at. There's a lot of residue on us emotionally, mentally. We need to just we need to wash that away so we can come back, Monday morning and have this fresh outlook. And this is where you're going to get those new ideas, those new innovations, the new inspiration that's going to solve some of these little problems and imperfections and bugs. And it's going to get you started on the next version of this in a really kind of like a clean install kind of way. So the only thing getting in the way there is that Nine of Swords. And if we can do our best to leave our to-do list at home, leave our worries at home, we're really going to have a good time. This Three of Cups is the projected kind of outcome of all of this. This is a really intense hot shower. This is a real celebration. This is a real refreshing good time. Whatever a good time looks like to you. Go somewhere, go out of town and play bingo, go to a buffet. I don't know. That's what I would do. Just go to a hotel and relax and binge watch your favorite show. Stay home and binge watch your favorite show. But don't go into that workshop. Don't go into that office. Right? Leave your stress and your concerns and your worries at home, in the office. And try to embrace this water energy. Again, with whoever this other person is, or whatever this is in your environment that is giving you this support and this love. Because there's something here with this two. Something here with this Two of Cups. Now, we don't have any other court cards, but I feel like there's a lot of love and a lot of support around you. Whoever or wherever that love and support is coming from, focus on that, because that, I think, is going to be the real refresh for you. Something to take your mind off of the work stress. And again, I say work, this isn't necessarily what you're doing for money. This is your creative work, your spiritual work. This is your manifesting. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be what you're doing as a career or what you're doing for money. Okay, I want to clarify that, because I say work a lot, but I don't mean necessarily career or employment. Okay. And again, if you want to share what this creative work is that you do, what it is that you feel like you need a little bit of a break from in this coming week, let me know in the comments. If I can send some positive energy your way, please let me know. And I feel like this is that positive energy coming your way. This is a very good time. This is a very relaxing, refreshing, recharging time. Okay. And I think in the next 7 days, within the next 7 days, you need to begin this recharge and this refresh. And even at the bare minimum, shut and lock the door to your office. Don't go in there for at least a day, at least 24 hours. 72 hours would be ideal. Okay, but at least 24 hours. And leave this Nine of Swords back there. Don't bring that with you, because we want this pure water energy, this pure healing, loving, nurturing, refreshing water to restore us in such a way that we can get back to business come Monday morning with fresh ideas, with a fresh enthusiasm, right? Now let's check out that mystery card. I wonder if the mystery card is going to be a court card to maybe show us who this Two of Cups person is in your environment. If it's a friend, family member, spouse, something. Otherwise, this could be some more fire energy. Okay, because we started with fire in the past. This week, you're bringing all this fire energy that we've talked about for weeks now. You're bringing all of that into this reading in a way that's already manifested. It's already incorporated into your work. And that's what we've been working on the last few months. Now I think we need a little bit of this water refresh, and we can get back to business. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking either fire or a court card here. with this mystery card. Interesting. It's the World or Universe card again. This is reinforcing the idea here that maybe you've needed this vacation for a while. Okay, we've got two of these. We've got two of these, same card. And this is telling me that maybe you've been a little bit too hard on yourself, pushing yourself too hard. We have a Saturn influence here. Saturn is very strict. Saturn is the taskmaster in a way. Saturn restricts you to this path that you've chosen. Intense discipline won't let you do anything else. Right? And I think we've been pushing ourselves too hard. We've been restricting ourselves to this work for a while now. Okay? So I think this is indicating that it is really your past due for this refreshing, clean install kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I think this is also doubly emphasizing the need to really get away. Maybe don't just go to a different room. Let's try to leave the house, right? Let's try to get out into the world, into nature. If you have a couple of bucks to go take a drive somewhere or spend a day somewhere, do it. It's worth it. Okay, I know times are tight. Things are tough all over. But if we can spare a dollar or two to do something for yourself, for your mental, emotional, your spiritual well-being, it's worth it. It's worth it. And again, it doesn't have to be extravagant, doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You don't have to go stay at a 5-star resort. Is that a thing? It could be just a drive to the local park, or a national park, or some wilderness somewhere, the ocean, a lake, a beach, whatever. Whatever will give you that refreshing feeling, whatever will let you unwind, and whatever will capture your attention enough that you can leave this 9 of Swords behind. Don't bring that 9 of Swords with you. Don't bring it with you. Okay? These two cards really want you to come out and play. And they'll entertain you enough. They will capture your spirit and your attention enough that maybe you can forget about all of this for at least a little while. Okay? I think that's really what we need in this week. All right? What else we need is the extended. So we're going to do that right now, and you can click on the link that is right up there. Then you can have access to all of the extended readings, not just for Sagittarius, but for all the signs. Okay. This was your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you.